All right,
Leggings
Steph.
and jeans.
Leggings.
Yeah.
Let's see. What leggings are you wearing tonight, Steph?
My red tie-dye ones.
Awesome. Awesome. I have my gray ones. I have my gray. Here they are, kind of, sort of. Can you even see them? There they are.
Yep, yep.
There you go. And Sharon's in her comfy, cozy gray leggings.
Gray
Gray leggings.
sweats. Gray sweats.
Gray sweats.
Nothing wrong
So
with that.
Yep.
it's all about comfort. So
It's called quarantine fashion.
Yes, it is.
I like that. I like that there, Peggy. Thank you. Yes, we're
Hi,
beautiful
Peggy.
ladies in our comfy pants tonight. So,
Yeah.
well, welcome, everybody.
Yes, welcome. Hello.
Welcome, Stephanie, being our guest
Hello.
tonight. But that's so
Yeah, thank
fun.
you guys.
Yes, this is fun. It's like a family reunion right here.
It is.
So,
It really is.
it is. It is. Awesome. So tonight my light's going wonky. Can you see that? Like I back up.
Uh-oh.
There we go. We'll just stay
That's
right
better.
here.
Just
Okay.
stay there.
I won't move. Well, I'm excited for tonight because we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to Stephanie's heart, and she's going to share a little bit about horticulture and herbs, and specifically the tea blends that she's made for Daisy Blue.
Yes.
But I think we'll get some more people popping on, and should we just jump right in and get started?
Sure.
Sure.
All right. So,
Right.
Steph, I'm going to turn it over to you and just start. So, I think the background a little bit is for those that don't know. Stephanie is the retail manager of our Austin store, but she's more than just that. She's actually a Jackie of all trades. And I know there's some background noise going on, but I'm going to turn it over to Steph so she can share about a little bit about herself and teas and I don't know, anything you want to share tonight.
All right. Let's see. It kind of all started years ago. I, as a child, had a lot of interest in gardening and growing things with my mother and my grandmother, and kind of just the basics, learning to garden like we all do as kids. And it became a huge passion of mine. I never really expected that one day that this would be what I was doing for the rest of my life, is working with plants. I sure didn't expect to get into ethnobotany, which is the study of plant medicine in different cultures. But here I am. And so, yeah, it kind of evolved. I have an education in horticulture. After college, I went on to study ethnobotany, permaculture, things like that. I moved down here. So I live outside of Hollandale. I moved down here out of happenstance, and we bought a big chunk of land in the country on peat soil, which was the biggest seller for me. I would have just bought the dirt, and started growing all kinds of things, started growing test fields for different fruits and vegetables, and got into farmers market in Austin. I did farmers market for a few years in Austin, and I don't know, it just kind of grew from that. So now we have our herbal teas that focus on different areas of health. Some are just for flavor. They have a lot of different benefits too. And so, yeah, I mean, it just all rolled from there to here. And so tonight I'd like to talk about some of those that we have online, and some of those, that we have in the store. But yeah, mostly the ones that we're selling online, I'd like to focus on those, so people that have them available to them know what they're good for and how to help them.
For sure. I think that's great. And so what I'm going to ask too is, as people are popping on, just say hi so we know you're here. And then also, if you have any, trying to fix some of this background noise I'm hearing, but if you have any specific questions, pop them in here as we go along. So, but let's get started. So you talk about like herbs as a medicine. So what does that mean?
Well, plants carry different chemical properties and compounds, just like pills that you get from a pharmacy have different chemical compounds to help with different areas of your body, your mental health, and they all carry different nutrient benefits, and help in ways that medicine on the shelf would. But the neat thing about plant medicine is it comes with far less side effects than taking medicine that you get from the pharmacy. So that was where my love of it came in. And a lot of these benefits you can get from drinking herbal teas, from plant, you're steeping these plants in hot water, that nutrient is leaching into your hot water, and then you're drinking it. And so you get that benefit from the plants.
Very cool. So I have to say that Vicki says hi. So hi. Nikki Cromwell says hi, Steph.
Hi, Nikki.
So let's talk about some of your favorites before we jump into what we're offering. What are your favorites and why?
Well, for benefit wise, my favorites are the anxiety blend that we make, the third eye tea, and also our immunity blends. Those are my three favorites. For flavor, definitely the Selva Atlantica. That's one of our newer ones, and that one's available online as well.
So tell me what's different with these compared to other teas.
Well, the anxiety, the third eye, and the immunity are all very, very beneficial for common everyday issues that we see in most of the general public. I mean, the anxiety, which, as it's titled, targets the brain to help with anxiety and depression, which is one of the biggest mental disorders or illnesses, so to speak, that the general public deals with, especially times like right now when we're all under a lot of stress, and anxiety can be caused, or the result, I should say, of stress. You can hear my cat. Sorry,
I can.
my dog and my cat are playing back there. And we're all under a lot of stress right now, and this anxiety can really, really help to reduce that. The third eye tea is made to help with cognitive brain function and memory. So people who have aging brains, people who have trouble with focus, people who struggle with ADHD or bipolar disorder, the third eye tea can be very beneficial for those things. And then the immunity, which we promote a lot. The immunity is fantastic for boosting the immune system. So those three are useful for most everyone. At least one of those probably calls your name.
Yes. There we go.
But the Selva Atlantica, that one's a flavor favorite. It's a fruit-based tea that I really, really love that has green and black tea in it. So
you're getting some of the caffeine tea leaves, and I'm sorry for some of the technical stuff I'm dealing with. So let's ignore all of what I'm dealing with.
You're totally fine.
I do see. So Barb asked, I was going to order the teas with the order I placed. I couldn't make up my mind as to which to get. Well, that's a tough one. So, one thing we offer herbal teas, and we offer the caffeine teas, like the tea leaves. So what's the difference between the two?
Well, an herbal tea doesn't actually have tea in it at all. So tea is a plant of its own, and tea leaf is what you find in tea. Black tea, green tea, white tea are all tea leaf based teas. And tea leaf is naturally caffeinated. Not on a large scale like drinking a soda or having a cup of coffee, but they do contain some caffeine. While herbal teas are made from other plants and are usually completely caffeine free.
All right. So what's the difference between green tea, white tea, black tea? Like, is it just the leaves and color, or is there something different?
Well, the difference between them, they all come from the exact tea plant. And the different types of tea leaves that you buy depends on how the plant was cultivated, what part of the plant that they came from. So white tea is the youngest, most tender leaves on the tea plant. Green tea is kind of the medium, middle-aged leaves, still fairly tender, but a little more hardened than the white tea leaves. And black tea is typically the older leaves, larger leaves that are on the plant, and they're usually fermented. So like oolong tea is a black tea that is fermented.
Very cool. All right. So I would love to have some people maybe posting some questions about different types of maybe not necessarily illnesses, but body, just things going on. So when someone comes into our store and they want tea, what are some things that you usually hear? What are they looking for?
more often than not, I get questions about common everyday issues. People who struggle with digestive issues, or people who struggle with anxiety or depression, that are looking for a natural solution rather than running off to the pharmacy and, getting a prescription. They're looking for something with less side effects that will help with these common issues. And while obviously I'm not a doctor, I do know from research and from lots of studies what has been proven helpful for most common issues. I'm not going to say that it's going to solve your problem, and none of these are cures to anything, but a lot of these will help with everyday occurring problems.
Hold on there. Whoops. Hold on. When you started to say, I am not a doctor, I wanted to say, but I play one on Facebook Live. Just kidding, everybody. Not serious. Peggy asked about menopause and bloating. Do you have any suggestions around that in teas?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of benefits that we've seen, especially, believe it or not, in alfalfa leaf. So, if you have menopausal issues, bloating issues, alfalfa leaf has been found to bring a lot of relief to that. We do carry some teas that contain alfalfa leaf. Our Wise Woman tea, which unfortunately isn't online right now, but maybe, hopefully, in the future. Wise Woman is a good one. Anything with ashwagandha can really help with that too. I'm trying to think. Wrote a list of stuff down here for the different teas. I know our third eye tea, which is actually to target brain function, does have alfalfa leaf in it. So maybe you can get the double benefit of having mental clarity and having menstrual relief. But I would focus on those kind of teas that you find with alfalfa.
Very cool. Okay, and then of all the teas we have listed, can you just tell a little bit about each one and what the benefits are? So when people are looking online, like if you're brand new to tea drinking, maybe to start with, I'm going to ask a few sectional questions.
Sure.
What's a good place to start? Like, I'm brand new, what should I do? How do I make my tea? Because it's a loose leaf that we offer, and why do we offer loose leaf? And then maybe just a quick overview of all the teas that we have online. There's 6 of them right now that we can maybe
Okay.
just cover, like what would be a great one for people getting started.
Okay. That's a broad question. I will do my best with this one. Well, if you're new to tea, there's some things that you should know. Tea comes with a lot of health benefits. Health benefits that you can't get from drinking coffee or soda, or a lot of juices, in fact, do not come with a lot of nutritional benefit. But tea comes with any nutritional benefit that you put into it. So you can, by making a warm cup of tea, you can use tea leaf, and it gives you your pick me up, your little bit of caffeine without so much that it becomes addictive. You can use it for stomach pain relief by having a ginger and peppermint tea. You can ease digestion and drink that after every meal, and it will help to promote a regular system. There's a lot of benefits to drinking tea. So the first question you would ask yourself is, what do I want my tea to do for me? Do I want it to be my pick-me-up? Do I want it to help with an issue that I'm having? And then once you know what you want it to do, the next is to ask the question. Either do your research online or through books, or ask somebody who is knowledgeable in herbal health or Ayurvedic medicine what helps with those issues. So, in that being said, that's why we have a lot of these specific teas selected for online sales right now. I know when you come to the store, you have a huge broad selection, because we have almost 40 teas on the shelf in the store. While online, we only have 6. But the 6 that were selected were the most popular, and for good reason. So, number 1, the anxiety, which speaks for itself. It helps with anxiety mostly. It can help with depression. It contains different ingredients: hops, flower, skullcap, catnip, ashwagandha, gotu-kola, rose hips, echinacea angustifolia, lavender, lemon, and kava root. So that's huge. That's 10 ingredients. But all of those work together to help brain function. They help to reduce tiredness, while at the same time, some of them work as kind of a mild sedative and a relaxant to those nerves in your brain. And they also help to regulate those synapses between your body and your brain, so that you're functioning on all cylinders, and they help to prevent those anxiety flare-ups. So that's why we have anxiety on there, and we have a lot of people that love it, that come in for it regularly, that drink it every day, and have found that it helps them tremendously, especially those who have anxiety that are induced by stress. So what
So
else?
just a quick question on that, because I do see some people asking about anxiety and depression. How do they drink it? Like, do they just drink it all day long? Do they have a cup in the morning, cup at night? What do you recommend?
Everybody's a little different. So I recommend that if you're really drinking it to target anxiety, you should be drinking it at least twice a day. You should kind of start your day out, your breakfast, with a cup of this, and then somewhere, between dinner time and bedtime, you should drink it again. Everybody's a little different. So some people need more and some people need less. Think of it like when you go to the doctor and they give you a dose of something. They have to kind of decide on the dosage by how your body reacts to it. So, I would say anywhere from 2 to 4 cups a day is good, and it depends on how you receive it.
Okay, awesome. Very cool. All right, I think that probably answers a few that we're asking. Actually, there was a question, I think Sharon posted this. If the tea has hops in it, would it be okay for someone who has celiac to drink it? Is there wheat in the hops?
When it comes to any disorders or diseases, I would absolutely talk to your doctor about it first. I can't tell you that it would or wouldn't. There's so many variations. It depends on what medication you're on. It depends on, your body type. I would definitely talk to your doctor first if you question anything that you're consuming.
Cool. All right. So let's talk about the other T's. So I think the anxiety, that's probably why it's the most popular, because you're right,
Yes.
anxiety, depression right
Yeah.
now. I just see Vicky had posted this lack of face-to-face socialization has personally been difficult. I hear you, Vicky. That's
Yes.
why we do these. So hopefully it's
Yeah.
another way to connect. But what other T's, of all the T's we have listed, let's talk a little bit more about each one of them.
Third eye is the next one that I want to talk about. Third eye is to improve memory and cognitive function. It's made specifically to target the aging brain. So the third eye is really high in antioxidants, adaptogens. It helps. Antioxidants alone can inhibit inflammatory responses in the brain. Excuse me as I stumble. Um, and this can help, and they can also help fight free radicals, which can cause cellular damage, especially in the brain. And this third eye tea helps to fight that. We have ginkgo leaf as the main ingredient in that, which is notorious for improving cognitive function as well as blood flow in the brain. So that is another big one. If you have fog brain, or you struggle to focus, or you're seeing memory loss issues, this is one for you. Yeah. Any questions on that one particular? I don't see the questions as they pop up. So
Nope, nothing specific. I will say
all right.
Shannon did post, we had one post that said she loves the rooibos and chaga. Chaga? Is that how you say
Yeah.
that? She loves those. We don't have those online, but I know that we have some of those in the store.
Yeah.
But that's cool. So, something popped up for me, because I love tea, but I do like to sweeten it with honey or stevia. What do you recommend for someone, again, don't really like tea? How can I like the flavor?
Well, if you like sweeter tea, you can add, everybody has their own personal preferences. I usually recommend honey first. Honey tends to not draw away from the flavor of the tea, and it's not as harsh of a flavor to mix in with your hot water. But if you don't have honey, cane sugar or stevia leaf is optional. So just depends on you what your preference is. Sometimes people will add a little bit of lemon to their tea, so they want more of the citrusy flavor to, kind of go along with a little bit of that bitter flavor as well, and they pair together really good.
All right. Another question, is it okay to drink different types of teas at the same time? For example, anxiety and third eye mixed together.
Yeah, absolutely. You could definitely mix them together. None of them are gonna cause you any health problems, or you're not mixing up some strange concoction. They're all good for you and come with little to no side effect, unless you're obviously if you're eating your bag of tea all day long, you might have a problem. But but no, generally you can mix and match to what you want them to be.
Okay, cool. Very cool. All right. So one of my favorites is I love the mint. Anything mint, and I know we have a great mint. One of my favorites we actually don't have online right now, and hopefully we will soon. But so talk more about the mint. Like, well, what is it about the mint that I love?
Well, mint comes with a lot of benefits. One of them is it's fantastic for digestion. It helps to relieve headaches. People have used mint for so many things, but another one of thing about mint that's really neat is that it boosts your metabolic rate. So it can also help you with, and so does green tea itself. Green tea also boosts your metabolic rate. So a lot of these, like Moroccan mint tea, can really help in aiding weight loss.
It's probably good timing for that with our quarantine extra fluff that's happening.
Right.
Oh, that's cool. So I'm curious, like, how do you come up with the blends when you're making these teas and you like the Selva and some of these other amazing blends that you've made? What's been the inspiration and how do you do it?
Well, sometimes it's random inspiration. The Selva Atlantica, I took a big interest. So the Selva Atlantica, for those of you who don't know, is our tea that is based on Selva Atlantica, which is the Atlantic rainforest in South America. And there are specific fruits that grow down there, and they are all in this tea. And it also has green tea, which also grows in the Atlantic rainforest. Green tea and black tea mixed together in with it. So it's a pick me up with a really, really good, like, tropical fruit flavor.
Very cool. Any new ones you're working on?
Not at the moment. Everything's kind of on hold right now, considering the situation that we're all in. But I definitely am open to suggestions. My herbal teas, obviously, a lot of them target different issues that people have, and sometimes the inspiration is a customer that comes in and says, "I'm having all this trouble with this. Do you recommend anything?" And I may not have anything available, and that kind of becomes the inspiration to make that next tea.
Cool. So has that happened with some of the teas that are offered now?
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. What's your favorite? What do you drink every night?
I really like the third eye. It really is my favorite. I was diagnosed at a young age with ADHD. And of course, at a young age, was put on medication for it, which I felt wasn't benefiting me. I was on it for many, many years and decided to get off of it and look for more natural solutions. And anything that helps with memory and cognitive function is my best friend. And the herbal world has really become my world, and has helped me improve my life. And I find the third eye tea really, really helps me with that focus and that cognitive function that I didn't have before.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I love the immunity and probably anxiety are my two favorites. The mint, of course.
Yep.
One we don't have online, but hopefully we'll soon is
We
another one
have
of my favorites.
Moroccan mint online.
Oh, we do have Moroccan mint. That's right.
Yep,
I
we
love
do have
that.
Moroccan mint. That's a green tea and a peppermint spearmint blend.
It's delicious. And I sweeten it a little, and that's my favorite. And you can do these on ice as well.
Yes, absolutely. Iced tea, fantastic.
All right. So I also wanted to share, kind of switching gears a little bit. Our plantain salve was inspired by you. So talk a little bit about plantain and why we developed this product.
Yeah, I that was a really awesome breakthrough. I was really happy with when you made that. That was awesome. Plantain. The botanical name is Plantago major. It's not actually native to the United States. It was brought over here from Europe and Asia. But it's actually a common weed now that most of you will find in the cracks of your driveway, or next to a baseball diamond, or even in your backyard. It is a rosette shaped plant, so all the leaves are broad round leaves that work in a circle, kind of flat to the ground, and they have these tall stalks of seed flowers that grow off the top of them that are green. And I know when we sit in the grass and pick, I always see my kids pulling the seeds off of them. This plant, even though that it is a weed, is not really familiarized with the general public as medicine. This plant is very, very amazing. It is a natural antibacterial. It is a natural antiviral. It is a natural antifungal and an anti-inflammatory. It comes with so many benefits. And in herbal medicine, so before modern medicine, this plant was commonly used to fight against insect bites and inflammation and cuts and bruises, because it reduced that inflammation and therefore reduced that pain, and help these bug bites and cuts and scrapes to heal a lot faster. And it helped prevent any infection because it was an antibacterial, an antifungal as well.
And we have it in the salve, and yeah, it's
Yes.
just been going like gangbusters. And it's great for dry hands. So with all this hand washing you're doing, it's amazing for that too.
It really is, yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, you've been the brainchild of anything herbal that we've been creating. So I think it's been kind of fun. This has been a lot of fun. So
Thanks.
maybe that's the next thing. We have to take some of our teas, and maybe it'll be an immunity salve.
Yeah, that would be really neat.
I don't know. So, all right. Well, we'll kind of wait here if any other questions pop up. But is there anything else that you want to share just about herbs in general and tea, and maybe something people don't know?
Well, there was a question that I didn't get to that you had asked earlier that I didn't quite get to, that I forgot. You had asked or had said that people want to know, how do I steep my tea? How do I care for my tea? So, a lot of people say I don't like green tea or black tea or whatever because it becomes very bitter. And the trick with tea is when you steep it, if it is tea leaf, the longer you steep it, the more bitter it is going to become. So if you don't like really bitter green tea, don't steep it for more than 3 minutes. If the bitterness doesn't bother you, obviously the longer you steep it, the more nutrient benefits you get out of it. But if you want some of the benefits but don't want all of the bitterness, steep it for less time. 3 minutes is about perfect, but 3 to 5 minutes is all you need to get all the benefits from it. Herbal teas are not going to create that bitter flavor typically, unless they have some sort of herb in it that causes that bitter flavor, but most of the time they won't. So you can steep herbal teas for as long as you like, and you'll just get more flavor out of it. With tea leaf, it does get more bitter the longer you steep it.
And then since these are loose leaf teas, how do you steep them? Since they don't come in a bag, what do you recommend for people? Like I have a French press, so I use that for my teas as well. What other options are there?
Yep, you can use a French press. The French press is really, really good for a lot of finer teas like rooibos or like yerba mates. If you are going to steep bigger leaves, you can buy filter pouches. You can buy them online. I know Amazon has them. We sell them in the store. You can get them just about anywhere. If you want something that's disposable. Otherwise, getting a steeper ball, like a T-ball. We have them where they're hinged that you can they have a double purpose. They work as a scoop as well as your T-ball for steeping it. Or the ones that hang on a chain that just hang over the edge of your cup. Those are stainless steel, so they're reusable. You can hand wash them or put them in your dishwasher and use them over and over again. So sustainable. but there's different options. Buying loose leaf for us, one, it's less waste. These tea bags get steeped once or twice and then thrown in the trash, and that adds to your garbage. And you know, all of us at Daisy Blue are really, really big on being earth friendly. And the neatest part about selling loose leaf is we're giving you a better way to have food and have their tea, you know, tea without all the waste that comes with it. When you buy a box of tea, you're typically getting 16 to 20 bags of tea. That's 16 to 20 cups of tea, and each one of those bags is going to end up in the trash, as well as the box that you bought it in, which is sucky. And so we give you the option of, we have reusable tins that we sell them into if you come into the store, but we also have those pouches that if you order them online, those pouches can be reused. There's Ziploc pouches. You can use them for other things in the future, and they're food grade. And so we're trying to do that by producing less waste, and it's more cost effective for both you and for us, because it costs you less to buy your 20 cups of tea in loose leaf than it does to buy a box of tea on the store shelf.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So I love it. All right. This was awesome. Thank you,
Yeah,
Steph.
thank you for having me. This was fun.
This was a lot of fun. And Sharon is back. There she is.
Hi,
Hi,
Sharon.
So I don't see any other questions popping through. So as you guys, if people are listening to this later, be sure to post your questions. If you tag Steph, she'll probably see it that way. Otherwise, just let us know, and hopefully we'll be able to answer any questions that come up. And if there's any tea suggestions.
Yes, let me know. I am all about inspiration.
Yes, it's always fun. I always love your creative mind. So one thing about Steph is that she knows, I won't even say a little about a lot. She knows a lot about a lot.
Oh, you're
All
just
over the place.
Well, thank
Oh,
you.
all right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks everyone for being on. Thanks, Steph, for joining us tonight. It was good to see you guys
Yeah, I
again.
appreciate it. Thank you.
yes.
Yes, thank you. And tune in Friday night for happy hour at 7 p.m. and we'll be here.
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right. Y'all have a good night. See you
Bye,
Friday.
guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.